So, ever had sex with a ghost?
Oh, only on occasion. When I'm bored.
Was it spiritual? So anyway, yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the case of Doris Bither, and she reportedly was repeatedly raped by ghosts, and she was the inspiration for the book and the movie, The Entity. So coming up on Black Lotus. Conspiracy theories, the paranormal, UFOs, aliens, and all things strange and unusual. This is Black Lotus. So Doris Bither happened back in 1974.
Correct.
And she approached two paranormal investigators, and their names were Barry Taff and Kenny Gaynor. And evidently this happened back in 74 in Culver City, California, down around the LA area. And
11547 Braddock. It's a famous address now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I bet it is.
And a lot of people go by it.
Yeah. But anyway, she was claiming that she was being physically harassed and raped by three ghosts. And I think I read that she thought that they were of Asian descent.
Right. She said 3 Asian ghosts, 2 of them would hold her down, and while the other one would rape her.
Yeah, weird. But anyway, as I mentioned earlier, it was the case inspired the book from 1978 by what was his name? Frank DeFelida.
Yes, good luck saying that one.
In 1978, called The Entity, and then it was later turned into a movie in 1982, starring Barbara Hershey.
And she actually won a Best Actress award for that from some sci-fi awards.
Did she?
Yeah.
Did she? I didn't know that. I didn't read the book. You told me you read the book.
Yeah. It was actually quite scary.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, much scary. The movie was okay. The movie took a lot of liberties.
Mm-hmm. I saw the movie back when. To be honest with you, I didn't even remember the movie until we decided to do this show, and I thought, it was nothing really that stuck out in my mind or anything like that.
Well, in the movie, don't take the movie serious, because in the movie they go all through this whole thing where they build a replica of her house to lure the spirit in, because every time she moved, the spirits followed her, which is true. Mm-hmm. But they didn't build a replica house, and they used hydrogen to freeze this monster and try to capture it. And
right.
None of that happened.
None of that happened,
so,
yeah.
Right.
It's typical Hollywood. They're going to build up on a story to make it more spectacular.
I don't know, it's pretty spectacular to be being raped by three ghosts.
Well, that too, but anyway, a little background about Doris Bither. She had 4 sons and
1 daughter.
And she had a daughter too?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Oh, okay. But anyway, she had a history of physical and substance abuse. And she had multiple abusive relationships, and apparently she was abused during her childhood. So when the investigators got to the house, they noticed that the house was really in disrepair.
Right.
Just
it had been condemned twice.
Condemned twice, yeah. That's saying something, it really is. And the investigators also noticed that she had a really poor relationship with her sons, and
she had 3 sons and 1 daughter, is what it was.
Okay, huh? And so I think we should start by building on that, because I think when people are in abusive relationships and they had abusive childhoods and everything. I think that your psyche sort of attracts this kind of thing. I think the
negative energy.
The negative energy. How I am. I'm a believer that like attracts like. And so, not necessarily through any fault of her own, but I think she attracted this thing to begin with. Because I think I know there's been many cases like this where people have been abused by ghosts. if not raped by them, harassed certainly. And it's their psyche that's kind of attracting this thing.
Right, and the fact that it followed her from house to house after this event.
Right, yeah. And from what I understand, the original house has been ghost-free ever since this occurred. But, then she moved... I know she moved up to Carson. She went to San Bernardino. Then she went to, was it Arizona? Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
And then she went back. Finally, she went back to San Bernardino, where she eventually died. But... yeah, I mean, the very fact that this thing follows her around, and I think that's a case a lot of times. I've known people who have claimed that they've had paranormal experiences their entire lives, but they've gone through a hell of a lot of trauma in their life, and I think that that's a reason why.
That actually would make sense to some point. And the fact that nobody else is seeing the ghost in that house anymore.
Right.
But the fact that there were several witnesses to this ghost makes me also believe more that something was happening. It wasn't just in her mind.
Oh no, I don't think it was in her mind. And I mean, prior to the show, I was telling you that I thought maybe she was just nuts. I don't think she was necessarily nuts. I think she was just traumatized. And like I said, that's going to attract this kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah. But anyway, you've got some information on this.
Well, yeah. The researchers we were talking about, she actually was in a bookstore and they overheard her talking to somebody about it. Mm-hmm. And they came up to her and said, hey, we'll come and help you investigate this. Mm-hmm. And they all went to this house and there was 20 investigators there.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of people that noticed this. Also, the fact...
Well, I mean, and not just noticed it, but I mean, she was being physically thrown around the room.
Her sons had seen her being actually sexually abused. Uh-huh. The sons and the daughters would all get scratches on them and were also, being attacked also. Neighbors saw apparitions floating around. Wow. So I understand that maybe, Amityville Horror type thing, where it's all the people in the house is the only people involved see it.
Yeah.
But this is like the neighborhood saw it.
Right.
20 investigators saw it.
And the investigators too. I mean, and that in itself kind of tells you something right there.
Right.
So,
there was one investigator who even fainted because of seeing some green mist forming into a body.
Yeah, there were all kinds of things that they saw, and then I believe it was Barry Taff, one of the lead investigators. He took photographs, and he, and he claims that I haven't seen these photographs of the orbs themselves, but there is one photograph, and I'm going to show it to you right now, and you can see this arcing light, a couple of arcing lights, and one of the things I think was interesting. Now, this may be just a lens flare. It's possible, but the fact that it's so smooth and it's going past this corner.
Right, it's definitely not something being shot or shined onto the wall.
Yeah, it's nothing projected, but and then there the other arc over there past that lady's head right there on the left hand side. You'd think that it would hit her head as it is, and then it would be a larger projection on the wall if it was any kind of projection. So that's what I'm saying. This may be a lens flare, but even then, I don't know. I tend to doubt it, and the reason I doubt it is because of dealing with this show and all the stuff that I've learned about AV over the past year or so. And I just don't think it's possible to be a lens flare. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was an interesting picture.
I don't know did you get to see the video with the Polaroid pictures? I thought that was really interesting.
No, I didn't see that.
They were taking Polaroid pictures of her. All of a sudden, she was screaming that it's here with me, it's here with me. So the guy, Taft, grabs his camera and takes a picture in the room, pure white, totally white. Takes another picture, totally white. So they wait a little while, and she goes, okay, he's gone. And they take another picture, same location. It's fine.
Really?
Okay. That's kind of weird. Could have been first two pictures bad or whatever.
Could have been. Yeah.
But a few minutes later, she goes, it's right in front of me. Snaps a picture right in front of her face. Just a big white spot.
It's like an orb.
Like an orb.
Wow.
Couldn't even see her face.
I wish I would have seen that. No, I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, takes another picture. The same thing happens again. Then waits till it leaves, takes a couple more pictures, and then does it a third time.
Wow.
So there's like all these pictures that you can see that were taken in a row of sometimes when it's there, it's white, and sometimes when it's not, it's. That was another thing. It's like, that's kind of strange. Yes, it could be faked, and they could be showing us pictures that were pre-done.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know.
Also,
I don't know.
Polaroid pictures are a lot harder to make things do weird stuff.
That's what I was about to say. Is that yeah, you can manipulate film. It's hard to manipulate Polaroids, because it's there immediately. I mean,
And again, there was 20 people in this room when this happened, so it's not like that. Nobody witnessed it.
Yeah, right. So.
At the end too, she said it did start dying down, and there was one point where she actually said she was pregnant.
I heard about that, yeah, and it was they considered it kind of a hysterical pregnancy. She wasn't actually pregnant.
Well, they said that she actually had a pregnancy in the wrong area or something. What do they call it? I can't remember. Ectopic pregnancy.
Ectopic, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, she wasn't pregnant in the womb, so it was causing her pain and.
But from what I read, is that they never really made a determination on that one way or the other. It could have been that, or it could have just been one of those phantom pregnancies where she's displaying all the symptoms, but she's not actually pregnant.
I don't think a ghost could get you pregnant.
No, I don't think so.
I think it would be kind of hard.
Yeah, ghost sperm.
Ectoplasm. Well, there is a term for this. It's called spectrophilia, having sex with ghosts.
Yeah.
So it's not this is nothing new.
This is certainly nothing new. Speaking of ghost sex, I want to give a shout out to Gavin Lee Davies, who we recently met, and he is a paranormal investigator, and he has written a couple of books, and his latest book, I guess, is just called Ghost Sex. A violation. The violation. And you can find that on Amazon, by the way. Really interesting guy. And in fact, he's starting up a new online paranormal magazine called Paranormal Chronicles. And I get to write a column for him. Yay, that'll be fun.
You can follow that page on Facebook, too.
Yeah. The Paranormal Chronicles at Facebook. Definitely, it's a group there. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that because I got to submit something to my first column by October.
You better get started.
Yeah, and I don't even know what the hell I'm going to write about yet.
So they would just make you a ghostwriter?
Oh God, I hadn't even thought about that. But yeah,
you leave it to me for the bad pun.
But anyway, it's supposed to premiere. The magazine is supposed to premiere in November. And so we will definitely be promoting that a little bit, and certainly drop the link when it's available. But apparently, it's going to be a free online magazine.
Very nice.
So I don't get paid, but it'll still be fun. But
well,
anyway,
back to Doris here. Another thing I thought was very interesting was that supposedly right when they moved into the house, they had an elderly Mexican woman come to the door and knock on the door. And said that she used to live in the house when she was a little girl, and that the house was evil, and that they needed to leave as soon as they could.
Really? Well,
yeah.
And then I wonder why it's been pretty much ghost-free since the Bither case.
But I thought that's why I thought that was interesting. Unless because of, like you said, she attracts ghosts, that maybe there was something there, and it just went with her because this is too good of a meal.
Well, yeah, maybe.
And she was shown to have bruises on her inner thighs and scrapes and stuff also.
Signs of rape. Yeah.
And I'm sure you could do that to yourself in one way or another.
Sure you could, but with the frequency this was happening, and like you said, with the witnesses, with all of this, it's a little hard to swallow. It really is,
And to this day, her son Brian still swears that everything happened. They saw the ghosts and everything. He also said that what I thought was interesting, because we just talked about this on a recent show too, is that she was playing with Ouija boards and having seances right before all this happened.
Is that right? Huh.
So she was into drugs and drinking, and she had addictions and stuff, and she started getting into the occult, and that was one of the things she did, was she played with Ouija boards.
Really? Well,
I'm telling you, people, stay away from those Ouija boards.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think they're beautiful.
Things can be pretty and still be deadly.
Yeah. What else you got? Anything else?
I think that's about everything.
There's really, honestly, the's not a whole lot to tell about this thing.
No, but it's a very interesting story to hear about.
It is interesting, yeah. Now, she eventually died in 1995.
You have a heart attack.
Well, no, pulmonary arrest.
Oh.
Yeah, so she basically lost her breath, and
Okay.
but that often happens to people that are into substance abuse and that kind of thing. So it's not all that surprising. But yeah.
Very interesting story. I
weird
hope you guys
story.
enjoyed it as much. I remember reading that when I was younger, like a teenager, and being kind of freaked out by it. And you know what? To this day, I'm still kind of freaked out by it.
I'm
kind of weird.
I'm kind of interested to read the book now, and but I wonder how much the book elaborates, kind of like the movie does, about the original story. So I don't know. I mean, you read it, did it? Do you recall?
It's so long ago,
Yeah.
I do not remember.
Yeah, like this, that thing came out in like 1970, what, 4?
74.
Yeah. So
I think it was, yeah.
yeah, for me that would be like The Exorcist. I read the book way back when I was a kid,
78 it came out.
and I haven't read it since. So
Oh, see, now The Exorcist I've read several times because that's one of my favorite books. So.
But all right. Anyway, so we're gonna get out of here, and I don't know what we're doing next time. I don't remember.
I don't know. Our schedule's so messed up after we did the live.
I will say this. I talked to Anne-Marie Balog, who is a paranormal medium. And she was on our show back when we did Pop Views, and we had a great conversation with her. But we had requests to have her back on. I contacted her today, and she is all for it. And I think I mentioned once before that she does a type of reading for people that's a little weird. I'd never heard about this before. And you know how people do palmistry? She reads toes. So I think what I'm going to have people do is send in to us pictures of their feet, and apparently it's just like the top part of your foot. You don't, not the bottom. It's the top part of your foot. So I'm going to have people send in pictures, and we are going to be interviewing her live, and she's going to be doing some toe readings for people. So
That should be fun.
that should be fun. Yeah,
I want my toes red.
Kind of can't wait. So anyway, so until next time, keep thinking and question everything. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe and click that little bell so you can get a reminder every time we upload a new episode.